15th of April today. I was back in the gym and we were benching and deadlifting today. And then also after this session I did do about 6.7 Ks running as well. Just to top it off, one of those days where I felt like I had a lot of energy. Definitely able to not lift more, but I think just to get back to a bit more consistency with the bench. I was able to do in total 3 sets of 10 with 60 kilos, and then 3 sets of 5 with 70 kilos, and one set of 10 to 12 with 40 kilos. Warming up to start off with. So I was feeling relatively strong. I also decided that I was going to sort of nip my impatient self in the butt today and just wait in between reps. Give 3 to 4 to 5 minutes of rest in between sets, just to optimize, my recovery and, my ability to have some sort of good output benching, and then to with extra recovery I wouldn't be able to compromise my form as much and not feel like I'm engaging my shoulders or flaring my elbows too much when I'm benching, like I tend to get when I'm impatient and don't really think about my form too much and don't really think about keeping my back tight through the motion and trying not to round my shoulders off too much. So yeah, look, it was one of those days where I decided I was going to be patient, at least with the bench press. I wasn't patient with the deadlift at all. I was having like minute to minute and a half breaks in between sets. I was like, let's just get this done. But the bench press, I was pretty damn patient. So it took me quite a while just to do, which essentially was just a pretty basic and pretty standard bench press for me. I'm just at that point now where I feel like I'm plateauing a little bit, so I might need to possibly increase some weight and do a bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger and just shock some muscle and go up a little bit, because this felt quite, I wouldn't say comfortable today, but it felt manageable and it didn't feel like it taxed me too much, so much so that when I went to the deadlifts I still felt like I had enough explosive energy to complete those movements with like a minute, like under a minute and a half rest in between reps, which is something that I don't normally do. I normally like to take a little bit longer on the deadlift. I normally rush the bench press, so it was a good session in that aspect. And then obviously 6.6, 6.7, whatever it was, Ks running at the end. I did this gym session. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning when I started, so when I hit my run at about like 12:30. So it was like right in peak heat. It was about 36 degrees, humid as. It was beautiful. But because I did legs a couple of days before, so this was 2 days post legs, the worst days post legs where you're definitely feeling it. So I decided I'm going to do this run. I've trained this muscle during leg day. I've strengthened this muscle. Now I need to show the muscle what it's going to be used for, and it's going to be used for running. So I need to train this muscle and show all this new muscle and all these new fibers that are being built and being re-repaired. I need to show them what they're being used for, and I was like, I'll take them on a run and they will learn why I'm building them this strong. That was my thought behind it. And it was good. I enjoyed the run, but like my left calf blew out with lactic acid after about 2.5, 3 Ks. So the last 3 Ks was a bit of a struggle. Which normally happens after I do a leg day, and because I haven't done a full-on leg day in such a long time, I've been doing squats one day and then I'll do hammy curls and leg extensions and stuff like that another day, and the calf raises another day, and I haven't actually done a fully consistent leg day. I've sort of split the workouts throughout the week or the fortnight. For probably no particular reason other than I didn't really want to be completely and utterly sore for 2 or 3 days and knock out a lot of running. But because I did my night shifts and I was running 4 nights in a row, I was able to justify just doing a hard leg session. But unfortunately when you do that, and especially when you work your calves during legs, as you want those little puppies to grow and look less skinny by the day, my calf just blew out with lactic acid. I didn't strain anything, I didn't pull anything, but it just I don't know if it's a lack of warming up, which it probably wasn't, because I do a lot of stretching and a lot of dynamic stretching and warming up before running because I am aware of injury. But I think it's just one of those things sometimes where it just blew up with lactic acid. It was like I got to the point where I just like couldn't dorsiflex any more than I could plantarflex. So like my foot was just kind of locked in a neutral position, and I wasn't really pushing off anything because my calf and my shin were just so full of lactic acid. Like I got home and I was just massaging my legs and I was comparing the tension from my left to my right leg, and my left leg felt like a bloody rock and my right leg felt like a nice tender piece of meat. So I was really blown up, but good run. The muscle needs to learn what it's there to do. It's not there to look pretty, and it's not there just to look good lifting heavy weights in the gym. It's there to run, and it's there to prevent injury and to make sure I'm strong running. So we did that. Back to this session. So I started off just warming up with the bar for the deadlifts, and then I did my 3 sets of 5 or 6 with the 70 kilos on the bar, and obviously I did my back last set of sort of spine warming up and loosening up, getting a little bit of looseness in the spine. Obviously I've warmed up beforehand, but I've spent the last 40 minutes bench pressing. So it's just a nice little run through again just to loosen the spine up. So I do 3 sets of 6 with the 70 kilos, and then I do 3 sets of 5 with 110 kilos. And this deadlift episode was more or less emphasized on keeping the bar off the ground. So it's a little bit hard to see because of where I've got my phone. My phone's under the platform, but I'm keeping the bar about 1 to 2 centimeters off the ground, and I'm trying to have a little bit of a pause there and then go into the next movement. So I'm not relieving any tension in my back, or throughout my body. I'm not relieving any muscle tension, but I'm trying to keep myself braced and in this position so that I'm holding the bar off the ground and I'm not getting any relaxation of muscle tension through putting the bar on the ground. And then because this is trap bar deadlifts, you get that a little bit of transference of energy when you bump the bar off the ground into your next rep, so it actually aids you in the next rep, and I didn't want that. I wanted to hold it off the ground for a couple of seconds try and do a little bit of a pause as much as I can, and then obviously finishing off with a shrug at the end of the movement. Just as something different, it almost feels like a little bit of a version of an RDL where you're not touching the ground, you're moving it down halfway, except I was only a couple centimeters off the ground. So I think that keeping that tension in my back will aid in my ability to lift weights off the floor more. If I'm able to come back down, hold that tension off the ground, it will enable me to eventually pull more off the ground, because I did hit 130 the other week for the first time in a long time. So I'm thinking sometime in the next couple weeks, I'll try to do 140. But unfortunately, I've had me 5 days off. I've got 1 morning shift tomorrow, and then I'm back on 4 night shifts again because it's a changeover of a roster. I did nights to end that roster. I'm doing nights to start this roster. So it's a bit of a kick in the guts there in terms of my sleep cycle is going to go out the window. But yeah, so it'll be a lot of running the next few days. That's why I've been very gym-centric and gym-focused over the last 4 days, because I know I won't be able to get this amount of work in over my night shifts coming up. But look, all in all, a very strong session, feeling really good. Obviously, I can't get enough of a pause in with 110 kilos yet, but I'm working on it. Felt strong, didn't feel like I was struggling too much at all. Just wanted to be safe and confident in the movement, hence I wasn't going to go up any higher than what I was not comfortable pausing with, and keeping the bar off the ground. And look, I didn't film anything when I was running, but I'll chuck in a couple pictures of before and after, where I'm looking happy and then I'm looking dead. So cheers, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one,